snake skin right here.
Yeah, which means
This is some thick glass. Some thick old stuff. Probably a jar.
whiskey flask.
Whiskey flask or something. Yeah. Let's see how it's. Looks like that would be the bottom, because this would probably be the lip edge. That has to be the side, but what's this? See how it's contoured? Yeah, because it can't be the bottom, because it wouldn't sit flat.
Well, yeah, because like this, you can put it in your back pocket.
Yeah.
It's curved. Where's the rest of it?
There was no other pieces.
Hey, this is the bottom, Wayne.
You sure?
Yeah.
That's what I thought, but it has that.
You see that circle there?
Yeah, there's no other pieces out here. There's a few small pieces. But, yeah, I don't see any sign of mineralization that would make me think I'd want to dig.
This is all basalt. I mean, it's all volcanic.
Look how thick that
It's
stuff.
like saying,
Look
well,
how thick
let's
that's-
dig right here.
Yeah, look how thick this stuff is. Look at that. The thickness on that. I couldn't even imagine. It's not a bottle. I don't know why it's thick. Got some weight to it too. I don't think we're gonna find any artifacts here. These things are getting so faded. Hey Trevor, you want a shot of a lifetime? I don't even see the knife. Do you, Frank?
See it right there?
Man, they're so faded, aren't they?
Well, it depends too where the sun is. You know what I mean? The sun's right on them.
Yeah, it just looks like they're getting so many people up here. You can't even see anything over here anymore, really, can you? Just very faintly. And look at this, people have chipped them out. Completely chipped them out. That's a shame. It's just such a shame that people would do that. I don't understand the reasoning for it. Because what are you going to do with this? It's just going to break into little pieces. So all you do is just destroy it. But yeah, you can barely see the knife. See it above the circle, Trevor? Can you? I don't know. Frank, go over and point it out. Get right below it there. I'd get down in that spot next to the bush. Okay, put your hand up, Frank. See the circles? Right, left hand up high. There. Okay, there's the knife. Yeah. See the
Oh,
knife?
I see it now, yeah.
Yeah, it's very faint. And then just below it is the concentric circles, but yeah.
I think it's really easy to see it on the camera, though.
Some lichen in there.
Yeah.
I think the cactus, there was a marker cactus straight across from here. I remember I saw, and it's gone. So the cactus is even gone. That's a shame. God, it's been what, 5-6 years since we sat up here with all of us?
Almost 7.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, because we came down through here. Then we went up over this way.
Another stop we make is Rick Gwynne's treasure site. It was an area he felt there was a treasure trove. Story is he was with someone else. They crawled down. There was this opening. They crawled back in. He got in there. There was a number of things. There was a skeletal remains. There's a book on a table. Supposedly they saw a ruby in there, but there's a lot of coins and gold bars in a back chamber. And this was a treasure story that Rick, until the day he died, he wanted to excavate this site. A number of other people have been out there and looked at the site, and Rick always told us, go out, feel free to kind of take a look around, and let me know if you see anyone out there. We'd been out there before. In fact, prior to the TV show, around the time we did the TV show, right after it, right in that time period, we did film Rick out there. I have video of him out there. We briefly put it on YouTube, and Rick was concerned about the time of his active dig. He didn't want anyone to see it, so we pulled it all down by his request. And we'll have to find that someday because it's Rick talking about the site and a number of things in it. This is pre-Lust for Gold. Now, when they did Lust for Gold, the Rick Gwynne treasure trove spots, which did not involve Robert Kesselring or anyone prior to that. But at that time, we knew this was Rick's big deal. And we wanted to go out and see some of the excavation that happened. At that point, Rick really wasn't getting out there much anymore, and unfortunately, within, I don't know, 7 or 8 months, he would pass away. So we wanted to go out, revisit the site, and kind of at that time, and then the Lust for Gold premiere was coming up. So we wanted to put it in particular once the movie had come out and all. So we were filming the footage for kind of a number of different reasons. But Rick Gwynne and a number of people associated with him were involved in the spiral, the Holy Stones, and this was one of the sites they were particularly interested in. And we wanted to see how much work they got done in the area, and again, take some samples, see if there was anything there in the area. There was kind of a mineralization northeast of there we were interested in, not particularly on Rick's site, but a distance away. But that was the particular area. Now, while doing this, we had our GPS up, and we actually were looking at satellite imagery as we traveled. and we're picking out. We had already had certain places as we would just roll across the desert. We were looking for these prospects and stuff that had been abandoned and nobody had been to in years. A lot of them have filled in, or they were just basically very shallow prospects, and they're not worth watching the film footage. But we went out with just looking at these different areas to see if there's anything that ties into them with the spiral. And at that point still, we were looking at it and seemed like each thing was still at that point unrelated.
Time since we've been here too.
Should have been over here somewhere.
No, where they drilled.
There would be over the hole. The hole's down here.
It's over there, yeah.
How would you get a piece of equipment?
Well, they had like
Portable?
a portable drill, but I don't know where the backhoe's coming in at. It has to be coming down that ridge right there.
Right there.
Where are they digging with it? Oh, right here. They're digging right under here. Well, they have dug a big hole. What are you laughing about? They did dig a big hole. More than
I
one
think you
big
gotta
hole.
come around on the bottom.
Yeah, that's gonna be a long time digging. I'm not sure. So they're obviously, I don't even see the original hole.
That's it right there.
This is where it was?
Yes.
Do you think they're on the same hole? I thought
No, that's it.
they were digging. No, it was more like.
Was it?
It wasn't that big.
It was here.
They expanded it a little bit. But
No, it wasn't solid rock.
no, it was a hole. It was a hole like this.
No, the hole looked.
That's
nothing
where they're
like that.
digging.
The-
This is
I
right
was
here.
told they punched a new hole in,
Wow.
and that's what it looks like. They punched a new hole. Because the original one was in solid rock. It was about that big. You could crawl in it, and it went back maybe 6, 7, 8 feet. But it was like all rock. Well, this is in alluvial and all kinds of mixed up stuff.
No, it's pretty much solid rock, except you can see the pieces they threw out.
At least on the way in, I'll be able to let him know. Nobody's out here. So there'd be no reason they'd drill it over there. Okay, you ready? A little quiet. Ready? Okay. That didn't go very far.
No, I did not.
Frank! Find me a stick!
A stick!
As long as you can find something straight.
Yeah, you can't tell.
It didn't go very far.
No, it did
Unless
not.
they tried to fill it in. But that is the hole.
Yes, it is the drill hole, obviously. So why is it over here instead of
See,
by
they're
the hole
digging-
that's over like
But
there?
this is where Kesselring and them mapped everything. So they must be thinking they're going to go that way and cut into it.
Maybe. Unless the entrance to the room is over there.
I don't know. And Frank's right, that was the original tunnel, but that doesn't make any sense with everything else, does it?
No.
That's where I'm kind of a little lost right now. Yeah, I'm not hearing. Yeah, it sounds like it ends right there. Give me that stick right behind you. What's he got?
I think he's got a long walking stick or cane. Which, it would be embarrassing if you put that thing in and it was long enough.
Well, I think it ends after about 2 feet.
think it
I
does
don't
too.
know if they filled it back in or what they might have done. But I would think. Are you filming at all?
Yeah.
But I would think if you wanted to fill it in, you would have filled it in and then covered it up. Let's see if. Yeah, I dropped a rock, but it didn't go very far. Okay, so what do we got here? That's what I got right now. But I can't tell if I'm hitting fill. What I'm hitting, you know? And how would you fill it up? Because it goes into an open chamber, right?
Yeah.
So wouldn't everything just until you fill the chamber up? Unless they got a bigger rock in there. I guess that could do it. Jammed it up. Okay. So, but what we can verify is about, what, 2 feet?
Mm-hmm.
2 feet. I don't know. You can't say, you can always say there's hypothetically, there could be something, but there's nothing definitive still. So, you know, I never know what to think in this case. They're obviously putting a lot of time and effort into it still. But I don't think anyone's been out here for a while. This would be a bad-ass weapon.
Frank!
Donk! Been disappointed to haul gear out to drop something in there to see. But yeah, I think they probably took a bigger rock, dropped it in, got it to wedge in there, and then they dropped some fill in, and it's just all kind of wedged up. That's something they could drill back out pretty easy later, but it keeps anybody else from getting into the chamber. But this is where they were mapping everything out. So this is the drill hole that they dropped that in, and I will assure you, it drops into an open space. It does drop into open space. There were crickets in there. I will verify that. Now that much I know. Beyond that, I can't tell you. See here. Holy. I filled that one in too. Trevor. This deep. Second one. There's one. There's two. This looks like the one I saw Salvador digging.
They were trying to get between the rock here. And then they hit rock again.
So is there anything else? Because I don't see. We walked, now Trevor, we did walk right by this one.
Yes.
It's 1, 2. They could have done one in that hole, but I would think since these two were left exposed. But the one that they actually did hit the chamber, they could have covered up completely. And this was the area he was talking about. Right through here. So they could have run a hole here, and then covered it back up. Is it like a? It's a weird looking.
It's an X. Look.
I don't know about that.
There it is right there, next.
I think you'd be seeing things, Frank. Well, you wouldn't drill up here because you're just drilling through more rock.
Underneath this spot is a ruby that big, sitting on a table. And sitting at the table is a skeleton with a Spanish armor hat on and big gold candlesticks. And God knows what else.
So an interesting side note was at a certain point I just took off and told Frank and Trevor, you guys go down this way where you could actually work your way down. I took off and decided to bushwhack across the desert. There had been something I'd seen some distance, probably about 1/8 of a mile off track, and I wanted to go explore it. It looked like two parallel lines. What it actually was a dam they built up to hold water back so they could pan and process and maybe work a sluice. So I kind of got in that area, but I couldn't figure it out. I looked around, found a number of clay markers, and then I could see the area where they'd worked up a lot of dirt. They had dug up a significantly sized area. I don't know if the video really captures what they did in the area, but it was particularly impressive to me. I found, food cans and some debris and stuff. It was very, very old. I do not know who had that site. I could not find any claim for that site. So whatever was going on in that particular, I have no idea, but they did process a lot of dirt through there. And it looked like they spent a significant amount of time. Now, this could have been Henry de Cook before Bob Ward. It could have been a number of other people, but it was quite a bit older.
Give a better look at this thing. So, it wouldn't hold the water back here very much. So I don't understand the purpose of it. And there's nothing that shows any diggings going down through here. So, I'm not seeing anything in the area. There was a clay marker, but yeah, everything I can tell, it wouldn't be holding water back. It wasn't something to hold some water, create, because down here it's not going to hold any water. Everything's going to run off. And this, and none of this really makes any sense. And again, I'm not finding really anything. There's debris, looks like an old meat can. So yeah, it's old. Oh, here, a lot of stuff here. So they were doing something here, and it's really hard to kind of understand how this figures in, because this would have been obviously near the camp. There's cans everywhere. And I'm not finding anything anywhere else. There's no fire ring, there's just the trash. So they came out, they ate. I guess they didn't cook what they ate, because I would have expected the fire pit to be here somewhere in the vicinity. But yeah, I'm not finding anything. Now that side is all red dirt, and this side, well, it's not. So it kind of changes. And then the cactus looks like he's telling you to go back up this way, I guess. That's what I think it looks like. Yeah, it's kind of odd and unusual when you find this stuff that doesn't seem to work its way into anything else. And you're looking around, and you can't put, there's obviously a camp, and they built some workings there, and there was a clay marker, but there's nothing else in the area. No fire rings, no sign of a camp, any diggings or anything. Even if they were plastering, you would see the tailings or anything they would pile off to the side, and there's none of that in the area. Take a look around a little more. Okay, this could have been another clay marker. Another possibility is maybe they had a dog and the dog died and they buried him here. But it could have been a clay marker. I found one across the way. So, and someone could have burned the board. It is odd that I'm not finding a fire pit anywhere, even though I'm finding other sundry things. So, no sign of any diggings, no sign that they were doing any plastering that I could tell. And but they put a little bit of time and spent some time here, but yeah, I don't know what this is. Alright, might have got a clue. This might have been where they were digging a bit. Pull back here. Kind of walked on it, looking at it. But they could have been digging in here. It could be covered over. But it looks like there was something done here. So, and when you're walking on it, everything's just breaking loose. So it could be covered up for whatever reason. Again, I don't know what to make of it all. But this looks like it was probably the tailings or something they pulled out right here. So, because it just kind of has kind of a circular area where they were pitching it all. So that's what I would think. I don't know what they were looking for. I'm not seeing anything I can give Frank any idea of the mineralization. But again, we get up here and you can see the ground is obviously cracked severely everywhere here. So chasms everywhere. So they were working right up through here. It seems to be right through here, going up towards that way, towards Hat Mountain. So I don't know what they thought they found, because I'm not seeing anything mineralized that I would think you'd be wanting to dig here. It is an interesting site, puzzling again.
So one of the things we want to do is we want to check out the whole area for various, because we know Andy Sinbad's all through the area, Bob Ward, we know Henry Burns is, so we want to check out these various different prospects. We know Rick Gwynne had his claim, and we wanted to check that out, see some of the progress and diggings they did there. But we also wanted to check out some of these other viable spots. One of the more surprising, but probably not as in-your-face surprising, was me going off as Trevor and Frank continued to stay with the Jeep down the road, as I went off and bushwhacked out, and I found an area where there'd been a lot of prospecting, there'd been a lot of digging. That looked like they'd been doing quite a bit of like panning possibly in the area. And I could see where they dammed up what probably had water at one point in time. They were probably working a camp in there. I don't know if it was Bob Ward or who it was. I couldn't find any claim record on it specifically. But I found it interesting because obviously there was enough work and enough earth moved over the surface in a considerable area. It's interesting. And then you find all the basically rusted out cans and stuff and realize someone put in a significant amount of time here. Generally, when you find something like that, it means they were finding at least some sort of gold. There was something coming out of there. If not gold, silver, maybe not that cinnabar. There was something that they were finding of some sort of value in there, because they would not have put that extensive. I would think it was at least 50 yards by 30 yards section that all the dirt had been moved and dug up and stuff. So they were working a considerable area. It was all red dirt, highly ironized. I was very surprised to run into that. And they had little claim markers here and there, and I was able to so it was kind of neat to go out. Footage isn't always the best in that kind of thing. It's just me and an iPhone walking around. But it's good to get that, because it's another thing in the area that well, today is probably eliminated with Peralta County Park. Okay, here, let me talk. Another interesting place we got to briefly visit on the Jeep trip was an old mine that's called the Kovacs Chicken Mine, which is noted because the sign inside that was used to help shore up the mine is from Kovacs Chicken, which Rick Gwynne told me was the best chicken in town. I was told by many people at Apache Junction Kovacs Chicken was the best chicken. Well, they used that piece of signage down this mine. our interest in that mine and what we had hoped, and we tried to get a couple different TV groups interested in, was bringing in someone to excavate that area, because we've been told to this day by a number of people that all of Bob Ward's secrets were buried down in the bottom of that shaft. At one time that shaft was open all the way down. It's almost filled to the top, so it was methodically filled in to kind of keep people out of there. And Bob Ward's wife, as well as a number of other associated people, said that. Sal told me the story, yeah, that's where Bob's secrets were. Rick Gwynne said he drove by it one day and Bob Ward's wife turned to him and said, if you ever want to know a lot about Bob that you didn't think you wanted to know, you need to dig down in there. We don't know what it could possibly be. It could be guns, it could be bodies, it could be journals. Who knows what could be at the bottom of that thing? But that's where Bob Ward's secrets lie. Sal also told me at the what we call the Red Mine, the Red Rock Mine across from Ward's cabin, which probably will never be cleared out again. Sal said there was a lot of guns and stuff thrown in that before it was buried. And that's one of those problems with the Peralta County Park, is we'll never be able to get crews in there and do a nice clean excavation, find what was in there, kind of get rid of the myth and kind of find out the truth of what was in there. Was there a bunch of old broken guns? It just seems odd. And you got to remember, back in those days, someone like Bob Ward would bury anything of value because it was better to bury it because somebody would otherwise steal it.
See that sign there, Trevor? It says roasted on the bottom, and you can see a C-H-I, barely tell see the red of the chicken above it.
Yeah.
Okay, if you move over this way a little, you'll see it clear, the red. This is Kovacs Chicken Mine is what everybody told me.
I don't think you can pick it up on the camera, though, because it's too dark in there.
Oh, there's a snake skin right here.
Yeah, which means
Yeah, there's a snake skin right there. That really sucks. Because that means he's right under me.
right under that board.
Yeah.
Where are they getting out of here?
The gold mine, supposedly. I don't know about that board in the center. You're dependent on the fault too.
Yeah.
Tell you what. Yeah.
Okay, that weren't my idea.
Board looks solid enough.
Of course, you know, to Frank, the board looks solid enough because I'm the only one that ever seems to stand on the board that looks solid enough.
See the snake skin?
The little one. Not getting much of a reaction from anything.
Fucking, they're gonna go surfing on this thing?
You ever ride a sled?
Yeah, but I wasn't planning on it today.
It's the same thing down there. There's another one. You gotta walk around to the right, underneath all that shit.
It ends right there. And the Kovacs Chicken sign. That's it.
Don't do this at home. Don't do this at home.
What about here? No, there's nothing. It doesn't go anywhere. Okay, but I know what mine this is now.
We found the Kovacs Chicken Mine.
Well, we didn't find it. We know where it's at.
We refound it.
Yeah.
I guess let people know. So
How are these snakes getting in and out of here? You can see it's crawling up right out of this hole. One over here. I don't know how this one I guess could be coming through that way.
You gotta step up over that. See any gold? That's what they were chasing. See this layer? That's their vegetation.
What is it?
Well, it's like a quartz.
They're just chasing the quartz.
Yeah.
There's nothing in it.
Would I dig this hole for that? I don't
No.
think.
I wouldn't.
Unless you want to invest
Well,
in my gold mine. Huh?
no, I'll pass.
I'll give you 20%. I'll give you Bob's 25% for $1,000.
You're going to give Bob's 25%. Okay.
There's some iron there. Feel how heavy that is.
oh dang.
This, some of these other mines around here, this is what you see in a tailing pile. So. Like this piece here, somebody busted this apart. That's why that other piece was on it. I'll take this piece.
So the Kovacs Chicken Mine, very interesting spot. One of the big shames was we really, really wanted a film crew to come out. We wanted to excavate it. I told a number of people, and I put it towards every production company I worked with, is here's this site. There's something probably down in there with a permit and so forth. You guys could come out here and film. And with just a bit of equipment, we could go in there and see what's down in there. And I said, there's 2 or 3 spots, but this one seems the most promising because I had information from 4 or 5 different people. And it's very unfortunate because now that we have Peralta County Park, most all these sites are inaccessible. You're not going to be able to access them. The roads and the landscape have completely changed, so it's harder now to find them than ever it was before. And we will continue on this process as you watch. For the next episode, we will continue this process of some other things and other particular areas that were of our interest. And all this ties in as these are the people involved in the spiral. So we want to know during this time period, over a 20 to 40 year period, these people are working in these different areas, and we were trying to look at them to see, okay, what was luring them away from here to here? Was it something? Was it this? Was it that? Before we finally put ourselves back into the spiral. And the whole time we're doing research and putting together which possible groups there were. So it's an interesting thing. Just welcome to follow us along and as we go. But this episode, we wind up and we're still on the road. We're still looking at things we process. And everything we processed, we found traces, but nothing significant gold that would tell us that anybody should have really put that in there. Which is amusing because Frank tells me I have no idea why anybody would dig here. And then Frank ends up taking a piece of granite that he's really interested in. And I don't know if I remember him taking that piece. And he never told me what the assay on it was, if he found any gold in it. So I have no idea on that one. And it's been a couple of years, so I don't think he'd even remember. The rock's probably sitting somewhere in the garage at this point.